Hi, I'm Lou, and today I'm going to fix my Stihl chainsaw. Last time I was using it, it got really hot and smoked even for about a minute after I turned it off. I can tell it has no compression because it's super easy to pull. Pretty sure I cooked the cylinder and piston, but we'll find out. Back cover. Take pictures as you go so you remember how it goes back together. Filter. Choke linkage. Fuel line. This rubber piece. Throttle linkage. Other fuel line, carburetor. Pop off this fuel line, this yellow wire. This gasket and metal plate come off next. And then very carefully squeeze down this rubber boot and push it through. Now we're going to have to take off the handle on the plastics. Take out 4 plugs. And there's T27 torque screws under those. And now the saw comes right out of the handle. Up here, there's a rubber mount you have to push through. As you're taking off the shell, these wires go through that grommet. And off that comes. Muffler off the front with 5/16. Gasket and metal plate. Bolts. Remove the spark plug. This plastic piece. Pull start assembly. This ground lug. On the bottom, we remove those 4 bolts. And this top piece called the jug pulls right off. This is definitely the problem. This ring should go all the way around, but if you look on the other side, it's completely destroyed and this piston is in really bad shape. You can also see a little bit of scoring on the walls of the cylinder inside the jug, but it's not too bad. While we wait for parts, let's talk about how we got here. Got this used for what I thought was a good deal. The previous owner gave me his mix tank and oil. It looks like he tried to estimate half of a 2-gallon mix, and he's got it filled to 1 1/4. There's not enough oil in your mix. This can definitely happen. So the lesson is mix carefully. Use a 1 gallon in a 1-gallon can, 2 gallons in a 2-gallon can, or end up like this. The Stihl dealership wanted $160 for the jug and $150 for the crank, and Amazon only wanted $40 for everything. My crank is in great shape, so all I need to replace is the piston and the jug, but since this whole thing is already assembled, I think I'm just going to replace it all. So we'll move the impulse line, the intake boot, and the grounding lug to the new one. We'll take off the flywheel starting with this 1/2-inch nut. If the jug were still on, you put a rope in there to block the piston, but I'm putting a piece of wood under the crank. It took a lot of force, but I got it loose. These can be pretty hard to get off. Very gently tap in 2 screwdrivers on either side of the crankshaft. Put a punch in the center and give it a good whack or 2. And it comes right off. Take the side cover off. Chain, bar. Pop this clip with a screwdriver. Washer, clutch bell. This is a 3/4 socket, and it took a lot of force to break this clutch free, and it's reverse thread, so you spin it off clockwise. A large washer, and lastly this worm gear that drives the oiler. Now we can take the old crank out and the crankcase. Cleaned everything up, and we slide the new engine in like this. I'm going to quickly run through reassembly, but I have a more detailed video link in the description. Properly mixed fuel so we don't burn up the piston again. I have plenty chain oil. And here we go. Thanks for watching.